Today's reading begins in the book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 9, starting in verse 1. So all Israel were listed by genealogies, and behold, they are written in the book of the kings of Israel. Judah was carried away captive to Babylon for their disobedience. Now the first inhabitants who lived in their possessions in their cities were Israel, the priests, the Levites, and the temple servants. In Jerusalem there lived of the children of Judah, of the children of Benjamin, and of the children of Ephraim and Manasseh, Uthai the son of Ammihud, the son of Omri, the son of Imri, the son of Bani, of the children of Perez the son of Judah. Of the Shilonites, Isaiah the firstborn and his sons. Of the sons of Zerah, Jeuel and their brothers, 690. Of the sons of Benjamin, Sallu the son of Meshullam, the son of Hodaviah, the son of Hasenuah, and Ibneiah the son of Jeroram, and Elah the son of Uzi, the son of Mikri, and Meshullam the son of Shephatiah, the son of Reuel, the son of Ibnijah, and their brothers, according to their generations, 956. All these men were heads of fathers' households by their fathers' houses. Of the priests, Jediah, Jehoiarib, Jachin, and Azariah the son of Hilkiah, the son of Meshullam, the son of Zadok, the son of Merioth, the son of Ahitub, the ruler of God's house, and Idiah the son of Jeroram, the son of Pashur, the son of Malchijah, and Maasai the son of Adil, the son of Jazerah, the son of Meshullam, the son of Meshilemeth, the son of Immer, and their brothers, heads of their fathers' houses, 1,760. They were very able men for the work of the service of God's house. Of the Levites, Shemaiah the son of Hashub, the son of Azrikam, the son of Hashabiah, of the sons of Merari, and Bakbakar, Haresh, Galal, and Mattaniah the son of Micah, the son of Zikri, the son of Asaph, and Obadiah the son of Shemaiah, the son of Galal, the son of Jeduthun, and Berechiah the son of Asa, the son of Elkanah, who lived in the villages of the Netophathites. The gatekeepers, Shallum, Akub, Talmon, Ahiman, and their brothers, Shallum was the chief, who previously served in the king's gate eastward. They were the gatekeepers for the camp of the children of Levi. Shallum was the son of Kor, the son of Ebiasaph, the son of Korah, and his brothers, of his father's house, the Korahites, who were over the work of the service, keepers of the thresholds of the tent. Their fathers had been over the Lord's camp, keepers of the entry. Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, was ruler over them in time past, and the Lord was with him. Zechariah, the son of Meshelemiah, was gatekeeper of the door of the tent of meeting. All these who were chosen to be gatekeepers in the thresholds were 212. These were listed by genealogy in their villages, whom David and Samuel the seer ordained in their office of trust. So they and their children had the oversight of the gates of the Lord's house, even the house of the tent, as guards. On the four sides were the gatekeepers, towards the east, west, north, and south. Their brothers in their villages were to come in every 7 days from time to time to be with them, for the four chief gatekeepers, who were Levites, were in an office of trust, and were over the rooms and over the treasuries in God's house. They stayed around God's house because that was their duty, and it was their duty to open it morning by morning. Certain of them were in charge of the vessels of service, for these were brought in by count, and these were taken out by count. Some of them also were appointed over the furniture, and over all the vessels of the sanctuary, over the fine flour, the wine, the oil, the frankincense, and the spices. Some of the sons of the priests prepared the mixing of the spices. Mattathiah, one of the Levites, who was the firstborn of Shallum the Korahite, had the office of trust over the things that were baked in pans. Some of their brothers, of the sons of the Kohathites, were over the showbread, to prepare it every Sabbath. These are the singers, heads of fathers' households of the Levites, who lived in the rooms and were free from other service, for they were employed in their work day and night. These were heads of fathers' households of the Levites, throughout their generations, chief men. They lived at Jerusalem. Jael, the father of Gibeon, whose wife's name was Maacah, lived in Gibeon. His firstborn son was Abdon, then Zur, Kish, Baal, Ner, Nadab, Gedor, Ahio, Zechariah, and Mikloth. Mikloth became the father of Shimeam. They also lived with their relatives in Jerusalem, near their relatives. Ner became the father of Kish. Kish became the father of Saul. Saul became the father of Jonathan, Malchishua, Abinadab, and Eshbaal. The son of Jonathan was Merib-Baal. Merib-Baal became the father of Micah. The sons of Micah, Pithon, Melech, Teriah, and Ahaz. Ahaz became the father of Jerah. Jerah became the father of Elameth, Asmaveth, and Zimri. Zimri became the father of Moza. Moza became the father of Benaiah, Rephaiah his son, Eliasa his son, and Azel his son. Azel had 6 sons, whose names are Azrikam, Bokeru, Ishmael, Shariah, Obadiah, and Hanan. These were the sons of Azel. Now the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines, and fell down slain on Mount Gilboa. The Philistines followed hard after Saul and after his sons, and the Philistines killed Jonathan, Abinadab, and Malchishua, the sons of Saul. The battle went hard against Saul, and the archers overtook him, and he was distressed by reason of the archers. Then Saul said to his armor-bearer, "Draw your sword, and thrust me through with it, lest these uncircumcised come and abuse me." But his armor-bearer would not, for he was terrified. Therefore Saul took his sword and fell on it. When his armor-bearer saw that Saul was dead, he likewise fell on his sword and died. So Saul died with his 3 sons, and all his house died together. When all the men of Israel who were in the valley saw that they fled, and that Saul and his sons were dead, they abandoned their cities and fled, and the Philistines came and lived in them. On the next day, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, they found Saul and his sons fallen on Mount Gilboa. They stripped him and took his head and his armor, then sent into the land of the Philistines all around to carry the news to their idols and to the people. They put his armor in the house of their gods, and fastened his head in the house of Dagon. When all Jabesh Gilead heard all that the Philistines had done to Saul, all the valiant men arose and took away the body of Saul and the bodies of his sons, and brought them to Jabesh, and buried their bones under the oak in Jabesh, and fasted 7 days. So Saul died for his trespass which he committed against the Lord, because of the Lord's word, which he didn't keep, and also because he asked counsel of one who had a familiar spirit, to inquire, and didn't inquire of the Lord. Therefore he killed him, and turned the kingdom over to David, the son of Jesse. The book of Acts, chapter 27, starting in verse 21. When they had been long without food, Paul stood up in the middle of them, and said, "Sirs, you should have listened to me, and not have set sail from Crete, and gotten this injury and loss. Now I exhort you to cheer up, for there will be no loss of life amongst you, but only of the ship. For there stood by me this night an angel, belonging to the God whose I am, and whom I serve, saying, Don't be afraid, Paul, you must stand before Caesar. Behold, God has granted you all those who sail with you. Therefore, sirs, cheer up, for I believe God that it will be just as it has been spoken to me, but we must run aground on a certain island. But when the 14th night had come, as we were driven back and forth in the Adriatic Sea, about midnight the sailors surmised that they were drawing near to some land. They took soundings and found 20 fathoms. After a little while they took soundings again and found 15 fathoms. Fearing that we would run aground on rocky ground, they let go 4 anchors from the stern and wished for daylight. As the sailors were trying to flee out of the ship and had lowered the boat into the sea, pretending that they would lay out anchors from the bow, Paul said to the centurion and to the soldiers, Unless these stay in the ship, you can't be saved. Then the soldiers cut away the ropes of the boat and let it fall off. While the day was coming on, Paul begged them all to take some food, saying, Today is the 14th day that you wait and continue fasting, having taken nothing. Therefore I beg you to take some food, for this is for your safety, for not a hair will perish from any of your heads." When he had said this and had taken bread, he gave thanks to God in the presence of all. Then he broke it and began to eat. Then they all cheered up, and they also took food. In all, we were 276 souls on the ship. When they had eaten enough, they lightened the ship, throwing out the wheat into the sea. When it was day, they didn't recognize the land, but they noticed a certain bay with a beach, and they decided to try to drive the ship into it. Casting off the anchors, they left them in the sea, at the same time untying the rudder ropes. Hoisting up the foresail to the wind, they made for the beach. But coming to a place where two seas met, they ran the vessel aground. The bow struck and remained immovable, but the stern began to break up by the violence of the waves. The soldiers' counsel was to kill the prisoners, so that none of them would swim out and escape. But the centurion, desiring to save Paul, stopped them from their purpose, and commanded that those who could swim should throw themselves overboard first to go towards the land, and the rest should follow, some on planks and some on other things from the ship. So they all escaped safely to the land. The Book of Psalms, chapter 8, starting in verse 1. Lord, our Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth! You have set your glory above the heavens. From the lips of babes and infants you have established strength because of your adversaries, that you might silence the enemy and the avenger. When I consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars which you have ordained, what is man that you think of him? What is the Son of Man that you care for him? For you have made him a little lower than the angels, and crowned him with glory and honor. You make him ruler over the works of your hands. You have put all things under his feet, all sheep and cattle, yes, and the animals of the field, the birds of the sky, the fish of the sea, and whatever passes through the paths of the seas. Lord, our Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth. The Book of Proverbs, chapter 18, starting in verse 23. The poor plead for mercy, but the rich answer harshly. A man of many companions may be ruined, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother.